morning, ladies and gentlemen. And I think whilst we're waiting in the queue, I think we should just talk about what's going on here. Firstly, before we start, I'd like to invite you all to just take some really lovely deep breaths and don't do it anywhere near anybody else. Make sure you're standing 2 meters away from everyone around you. Just start taking some deep breaths as we start to talk about what is going on here. Now I can see several people who look like they might be over 70 here. Why are you here? If you are over 70, you should be at home. And as for the rest of you guys here, you young healthy people, who I'm assuming do not have any underlying health issues, because if you do, any of you have any underlying health issues, you should also be at home, because the hospitals are starting to get overcrowded with people, so you should be at home. And the rest of you in the crowd who are healthy should be communicating with the old people here so that they don't have to be here, and you can go into Lidl's and buy them what they need and deliver it to their homes. This is the time where we realise that we're all connected in this. And really, do any of you really even have to be here? Any of you got nothing? Have you got nothing in the house? Sir, do you have anything in the house? Do you mind asking? Anybody here? Anybody? Hands up if you've really, really run out heavy and you've come here for real essentials. Okay, 1, 2. Maybe you should go to the front of the queue. Why are there vulnerable people in this queue? And whilst we're speaking here about that, actually, a little bit of fasting will be good for us. And naturally it might be worth thinking about that if we were all vegan and we'd have left the animals alone, maybe none of this would have happened. And maybe we should also think about the poor people who have to work in Lidl's. Yes, they've got a job and they're earning a few pence, but they have to work in there and expose themselves to all you people. Because right now, we need to consider each one of ourselves as carriers. We are potential carriers. We don't know how many people in this queue have got it. And we've got to do our best to make sure that we don't pass it on, because the person we pass it on to might be perfectly healthy, but they then pass it on to someone else, and eventually someone may die because you decided to go out and get a large packet of crisps and some biscuits and cakes to take away your anxiety. So how many of us really need to be out right now? Isn't this the time for each and every one of us to just try and stay at home for a little bit and be with ourselves? Just be with ourselves. Start to learn to meditate. Start to realise that most of the stuff in our society is rubbish. The restaurants, full of rubbish food. The pubs, full of destructive alcohol. The cinemas, full of nonsense films. The theatres, full of shallow storylines, silliness, folly. This is the chance to start to come from outside. And if you can't go outside, to go within. What are we doing? Why? Why are we queuing up like this, in panic, to get our bit of the pie, knowing that someone else is not going to be able to get the pie? If you didn't need so much, if we didn't need so much, because I'm just as bad as anybody else, we wouldn't need so much toilet paper. So ladies and gentlemen, as the queue grows, look around you and you will see some people who are over 70. They should not be here. They should not be here. Furthermore, they should go to the front of the queue. Yes, you should go to the front of the queue. All the people that are over 70 should go to the front of the queue, and they should be allowed in the shop on their own. I invite you to go, why not? And what you don't understand, people, and I have only understood this recently, is that we have to see ourselves as carriers, all of you. You're all carriers. Imagine you are all carrying it right now. Would you be behaving differently?
Even if you go to the front, you're still not going to get in.
Would you even be here? If you knew that you were carrying, if there was some kind of test and you knew you were carrying it, and therefore you knew that there's a very good chance that you're going to give it to other people, would you even be here standing in the queue, risking going into Lidl, touching all the things that everybody else has touched? So I invite anybody who's over 70, or anyone that has any underlying health condition, just make your way to the front. I invite you also, if you see anyone here over 70, and you're from the area, find out where they're from, maybe offer to help them, so that they don't have to come out and risk their lives. And more importantly, what we don't understand is that at this particular time, the hospitals are filling up more and more. So this is not the time to take any risks with your life or with somebody else's life. Also very important in this time to make sure you do not make any mistakes in the bedroom. Very important that you keep your social distancing in the bedroom to make sure you do not reproduce during this pandemic. The NHS needs all its doctors and nurses and staff to concentrate on this pandemic. Traditionally, in these times, people end up getting pregnant because they've got nothing else to do. But we've got Netflix now, we've got the BBC, we've got YouTube. That should keep you busy. If anybody would like some free condoms, I have brought some with me today. I will be offering them to you lot. It's very, very important that you remain safe in the bedroom. Condoms are free. Careful in the bedroom. Free condom. condom, please, sir. Very, very important. Condom, madam. Oh. Free condom. Sure. Free condom. Free condom. Well, I'm here. I've kind of slightly changed my tack over the last day or two. So I'm here again to just experiment with things as I always do, and things are changing all the time in what I'm thinking. I have all sorts of thoughts, there's all sorts of things going on, fascinating, tragic, amazing, inspiring, all sorts of things going on here, and I'm here just to see what happens, what comes up, and today you'll see from the film that I'm speaking to people and trying to inform them about why they should be as cautious as possible during this time. So yeah, having fun and trying to stay safe.
And you're handing out condoms?
Yeah, I'm handing out condoms. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love doing that.
You said that you changed tack. What do you usually do? What is your job, let's say?
But what's my job? Well, my job is a musician, so I don't have a job anymore. No, I mean, like, I've been going into stores, for example, and just speaking about reproduction, the importance of being careful at this time of reproduction, which I think is actually an important message. But I haven't been, up until just what I did, I haven't been sort of encouraging people to isolate themselves, and, you know, and I think that, you know, and I think that I also touched upon the idea that there are kind of different dimensions to this, right? So the idea of isolating oneself is actually an ancient spiritual practice. Both my children, two of my children, did Vipassana meditation for 10 days. So they basically isolated themselves pretty much for 10 days. And there are people that do that regularly. So I think this is also a really interesting opportunity for people to just get inside, make sure they do plenty of exercise. They can get out to do exercise, but get inside and just be with themselves and sort out their spaces that they live in, sort out, you know, be with their loved ones. And I know that there are some people for whom, there are many people for whom that's going to be extremely difficult. There are all sorts of reasons, people with mental health issues, physical health issues, and of course it's a very complicated situation, and there will be winners and there will be losers, yeah, and it will change over time. But I find this whole thing, you know, it's fascinating, scary, exciting, and it brings out the best and the worst in us. Good morning, wonderful friends and family. Let's imagine, ladies and gentlemen, as you wait in the queue, that for this next 10 minutes, we are going to imagine that we are all part of one big family. Just for the next 10 minutes. Now before we carry on, hello. There's a family member, ladies and gentlemen. Sister. Hello sister, how are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm very well.
You're well? Okay. Now ladies and gentlemen, before we start pretending that we're a family, I'd like to invite you all to just appreciate this beautiful sunny day and take a couple of conscious breaths 2 meters away from anyone around you. So I'd like to suggest, ladies and gentlemen, that you back off, everybody back off. Imagine we were all family and we realised that we were all potential carriers. You realise that some of you here will have the virus right now, and therefore, for the sake of the other people here, you should be 2 meters away. So please back off, guys, back down. You as well, come on. Now the thing is, I'd like to also invite anybody over 70 or who has underlying health issues to come to the front of the queue. Anybody else is here, the question is, guys, what are you doing here? This is the time for the elderly. Now that means that you should not be near them, because you might give it to them, and if they get it, they are in serious trouble. So what are you doing here at this time if you are not over 70 or haven't got any underlying health conditions? What are you doing here?
What are you doing?
I'd like to... What am I doing here?
Yeah. What are you doing there? You're not under 70.
No, I am there, but I'm distancing myself by 2 meters and I'm not going anywhere near anybody
What are you
who
doing
is
there?
over
You're not
30.
under 70.
What's that? So ladies and gentlemen, please consider yourselves as potential carriers. If we are all a member of one family, which we are technically if you think about it on some level, we wouldn't do this and endanger our own grandmother's lives. If one of these elderly people was your grandma or your grandfather, you wouldn't endanger their lives. So by being here, you're endangering their lives. By going into the shop while they're in there, you're making it more likely they're going to catch it. And the hospitals are filling up fast around here. So please, unless you have really run out of food, proper essential food, not biscuits and cakes and the sort of food that they peddle in Iceland, that is not necessarily going to get you through this if you catch it. You want to eat fresh food. And you want to stay your distance, guys. You're still too close to each other. Why? Why are you taking a risk with other people's lives? It is a good opportunity for us to, let's take this opportunity to go home and stay as long as you can in your home. You've got the luxury of the internet, many of you. You don't have to go to work. You have been relieved of your work for several weeks. This is a chance of a lifetime. Instead of going and queuing up at the time of the old people's shopping, which is like, what are you doing? Be at home and enjoy this opportunity. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to relax. If you are lucky enough not to be working. Obviously, if you're working, that's a different matter. Or if you've got underlying health issues, go to the front. Everybody else, please consider going home. You don't need any more biscuits. You've had enough biscuits now. Now is the time to stop with the biscuit.
You talk a lot of shit.
What's that?
Shit! You're talking.
Am I?
Shit that up your ass, man. Get away on that. You're talking politics, mate.
I have to admit that you're not the first person that suggested that what I'm talking is a load of rubbish.
Thank you very, very much.
No.
That's what you have.
No.
Go away. Get away on that. Take them.
Good one, sister.
Yeah, bro.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have been accused by this lady of not really knowing what I'm talking about.
His name is Kathy.
And I have to, what's her name?
Kathy Marie Stokes.
Kathy.
Yeah, Kathy Marie Stokes.
Kathy Marie Stokes.
Yeah. Yeehaw.
Kathy Marie Stokes has suggested that, just keep 2 meters, has suggested that I don't know what I'm talking about, and I have to admit that you are right. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I'm doing the best with what I know, and I don't think anybody really knows what they're talking about, but I do think it would be a good opportunity for us all to spend time on our own, to contemplate what we're doing here, to look at our lifestyles, rather than queuing up for some more cakes at the time when the elderly are meant to be here.
If the cake runs out, what are we going to eat? If the cake goes out, what are we going to eat? And what about the eggs?
If the cakes run out, what are you going to eat?
Right.
Maybe you could eat some. Maybe you could eat some of the broccoli and the cauliflower. Maybe a bit of some nuts or something. Maybe you can eat that. A little bit of fruit.
Everything, the bread, the whole.
The bread. You worried about the bread?
And the eggs.
The eggs. You worried about the eggs? Yeah. Don't worry. Don't worry about the eggs. I think what you are worried about is they run out of the alcohol. Then you'll be
yeah. Lots of it.
You'll be in serious trouble if they run out of the alcohol.
One time I drink dehydrate. Come on,
So ladies and gentlemen, we've just got 3 or 4 minutes, and just considering that we're all one and part of big family, once again I ask you to distance yourself from the people around you. People at the back of the queue, why don't you start going a little bit back and invite everybody to just stand apart. It's fine. It's not going to make any difference to you come and go. Nobody's going to push in. If you just stand back a couple of feet, guys. It's in order to just for the sake of the doctors and the nurses in the hospital. By you separating yourselves from each other, you are relieving the doctors in the hospital of future work. Do you understand what you're doing? It's not just about you. Do this for the people working in the NHS, guys. Come on.
Oh, the microphone.
If these people are not your actual brothers and sisters and wives, if you are not living with the people in the queue, make sure you're a couple of meters. You two, are you living together?
Yes. I don't know.
You are? Okay, fine, that's fine. What about you, sir? Are you living with these two? Excuse me, sir? Sir, are you living with these two women?
That's my business.
That's your business? Fair enough. You don't seem to be communicating very much, though. Has it been a long time you've been together? You're kind of fed up with each other. You're not even looking at each other now.
Oh, well, hold up.
Because if you're not living with them, sir, I mean, obviously, you don't have to tell me, but if you're not, why don't you just step back and ask the person behind you to step back? For the sake of the people that work in the NHS, do you not understand? And by the way, for those people here over 70, you're not really meant to be out actually at all. The young people here, you shouldn't be here queuing up for more biscuits. What you should be doing is speaking to the elderly people and ask them if you can do their shopping for them. That's what you should be doing. So that people over 70 do not need to come out at all. They should not be coming out and going into that environment at all. Even if it is only with other people over 70. They're still going into an environment where the workers in the shop are there. So they're to a certain extent endangering themselves.
Sorry, I have to say, you're assuming that people are here for very selfish reasons. We're not here for selfish reasons. I live on my own. And I'm here because for the last 3-4 days I haven't been able to buy basic food for myself. I'm working from home. I have no intention to come back out for another 2 months. This is why I'm here early. My mother is 73 years old, used to work as a nurse for 48 years. I have all the intention to wait here until 10 AM to allow the elderly in. I think sometimes you have to assume that people are doing it in the right way. If I went to Tesco's, there's 200 people queuing there. I'm queuing here. I won't be in before 10 AM. That is my intention while I'm here. I am self-isolating. I've done so for a week. I'm working from home. I think we should assume.
Wonderful. Thank you so
We
much.
have to assume.
For those who didn't hear that, ladies and gentlemen, this lady has just come here because she hasn't been able to get basic food for a few days. She lives on her own and she intends to stay here till 10 o'clock so that she can go in after the elderly. Right. I agree with you. That's wonderful. But let me ask you a question. What do you have to say to the people here who are standing? I know, you have asked them to move back. Right, good, wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, please, for the sake of everyone else, for the sake of this woman here, for the sake of the elderly, for the sake of the NHS, will you please move back? Please move back. It's not going to make any difference. Nobody is going to go in front of the queue. You guys, please can you take steps back? You. That's right, go, more. Steps back. Go on. It's okay, it's cool. You're in the sunshine. What are you worried about? You guys, why are you so close to this man here? You're endangering his life. Sir, you can stand here, but you can go to the front of the queue, by the way. If you want to, you can stand here. I mean, it's quite a nice spot. You've got the trees, but would you not like to go to the front of the queue? You have the priority for yourself. No, it's fine. You have priority, sir. Please, make your way to the front. Thank you. Now you guys, you need to keep on moving back as the people move back. You need to understand how this works. It's like a little game, yeah? We'll play a little game, right? And what the game is people at the back keep moving until the next person is only, and the next person keeps moving. That's it, the little game. Keep going. And you guys, that's right, you come back so that these people can get, that's right, very good, excellent, keep going, madam, keep going. You've still got a couple of meters to stay on. You back as well, and you guys? Yeah, but they're not opening for anyone except for the old people. So look at what you're doing. Come back. Guys, only the older people are going to be allowed in. You're here for another hour. Please, gentlemen, can I ask you please to just come back a little bit so we make space? Thank you very much. Just a bit more now, a bit more. And you, madam? Sorry, can you guys go back, please? Are you together? You're together? Right, can you please move backwards?
You're right. I've got no intention
It's not true about
the rest
not
of the day.
everyone is
Yeah,
like
I've been I've been really patient for the last few days, trying to avoid coming out. But now I'm low on food, so you have to. Yeah.
But there are different places to go. If you're
I'm not-
budget, right? If you're very budget.
No.
If you're not very budget, then there are places lots
Well,
of
this
ways.
is why I tried not to go to places like Tesco's and Sainsbury's, because the volume of people are much higher than here.
Right.
That's why I'm here. I'm trying to avoid contact with people. I'm fortunate I can work from home, and that's
Right.
what I've been doing for the last week.
Yeah.
And then that's it. As soon as I've got my food, I'm staying in for the next
Right.
month and a half. It's serious. It
Right.
really is. But what can we do if we have to have food? And my high street's sold out of everything, so I've had to come to Cricklewood.
Where do you live?
Oh, well, I'm in Wilson Green, just down there,
Right.
but everything to Sainsbury's, there's no point. It's such a long queue of people.
Right.
There's no point me queuing there. 200
Right.
people, I don't want to be around 200 people. I'd rather be around 50.
Right.
It lowers the risk of catching it, but with people,
It's not. You see, the thing is, it's not only about catching it.
yeah, it's then spreading it on to other people,
Yeah.
not knowing that you have the virus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm completely aware. I could have it now and I'll pass
Yeah.
it on to people who are buying
Yeah.
me right now, but I keep asking people to move down, but they're not moving. So it's just like, but at least I know as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to be indoors. I'm not going to be around any family members. I live on my own, so that's one thing. But hoping for the next month, I'm not going to be out at all once I've done this shop, and that's my contribution.
We're here now for another hour together, which is obviously for you guys probably quite disturbing. But I'm not going to be here for the whole hour. But what I am going to do is I'm going to ask you again a few times, ask you again to just play that game. Ask the people at the back of the queue to just walk back, and then the people behind them to walk back, just to get some distance before you. It's great, just to get a bit of personal space around, right? Yeah, so I'm going to be giving these out. Please do take them. Very, very important not to reproduce during a pandemic.
Ready?
I've got nothing.
What's that?
I've got a lot of red.